at a crossroads. Rattled by what some call as a political quake in the mayoral race, Zohran Mamdani, who has been a polarizing figure, has surged to prominence, celebrated by a vocal segment of the so-called free speech ecosystem, despite accusations of championing intolerance and divisive rhetoric. Now, people are talking about the charges of intolerance and bigotry, a provocative to arrest Netanyahu, and fears that Mamdani's leadership could transform the New York City of a chaotic reflection of London's recent struggles. Yet the louder cheers for Mamdani came from who claimed to defend open discourse, revealing a troubling hypocrisy at the heart of this movement. Now the charge of intolerance sticks because Mamdani's rhetoric often seems to exclude as much as it includes. His pledge to arrest Netanyahu is an example of what he stands for. Yet free speech ecosystem, that loose coalition of activists, influencers and certain progressive cheerleaders embrace him as a hero. Now why? Because he cloaks his intolerism in the language of justice. Wielding buzzwords like equity and liberation to deflect scrutiny, this celebration seems to be posing a glaring contradiction in itself. Now this is coming across as far as the reaction that is something to be seen from the US President Donald Trump himself. He's gone on a tirade against Zoran Mamdani after his victory in the New York City Democratic mayoral primary. In a scathing Truth Social post, Donald Trump has now dubbed the 33-year-old as a 100% communist lunatic who looks terrible and is not very smart. We put out that post exactly what Donald Trump has opined as far as what he thinks of Mamdani, where he's now weighed in on the victory of the leftist socialist Zohran Mamdani in New York City's Democratic mayoral primary election, calling him as a 100% communist lunatic, where he has also criticized other progressive leaders who supported Mamdani, and he's launched a personal attack on the 33-year-old Mamdani, where Donald Trump is of the opinion that he looks terrible, his voice is grating, and he is not very smart. As far as the allegations that now continue, let's get in a word from Rishabh, who is joining us live right now. Rishabh, how do you see it playing out now? Because Mamdani's victory, in a way that is now viewed as something that would change the discourse of the politics there in the United States, a head-on collision that is now expected with President Trump, where he has launched a personal attack.
Well, see, this is Democratic versus Republican is what we are given to understand. You know, at the moment when Trump enjoys, or at least his administration feel that he enjoys the the peak of popularity, someone like Mamdani, who A, is completely anti-Trump, B, is completely against the federal administration of Donald Trump, and has been making statements that in a way send shockwaves to Washington DC and a Trump administration, very clearly does not fit in to the picture that Donald Trump wants to be showcased about the United States. New York is a city where you have immigrants, where New York is a city where you have workers coming in from the whole world, and New York is a city which is one of the most cosmopolitan in United States. A mayor like Mamdani, if he wins, which many experts say could be a reality, might dent the prospects of Donald Trump as well. Mamdani's views on Netanyahu, Mamdani's view on US immigration policy, Mamdani's views on many global incidents is something that is in contrast with Donald Trump. But the point is, we have seen in recent past, including Donald Trump, if you demonize an opposition leader to an extent where things go haywire. We have seen it in Colombia, we have seen it in the United States, we have seen it in Japan as well, where the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot dead. So the way things have happened, the way demonizing opposition leaders by big leaders happen, that is something that is problematic, and many experts say that these demonization of opposition leaders lead to violence as well. Here in New York, Mamdani is definitely one of the most popular leaders right now, one of the choices where a former governor had to step back.
As election pitch is now concerned, very similar when it comes to the freebies that he's been announcing, and also on the other side, where his election campaign has been weighing on Hindi that is now being used during, as far as his campaigning on social media is also concerned. But this is coming down right personal when we speak of the President of the United States, because now he is weighed in on the victory of Zohran Mamdani in New York City's Democratic mayoral primary election. And here is what he said on Truth Social, saying that it's finally happened. The Democrats have crossed the line. Zohran Mamdani, a 100% communist lunatic, has just won the Democratic primary and is on his way of becoming mayor. We've had radical lefties before, but this is getting a little ridiculous. He looks terrible. A personal attack now coming in. His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He's got AOC plus 3 dummies all backing him, and even a great Palestinian senator crying Chuck Schumer, and he's groveling over him. And this is a big movement in history of our country as far as the personal attacks that is now coming in, where he's also criticized other leaders who actually supported Mamdani. Now, these are as far as when it comes to the developments that have been taking place. Thank you very much, Rishabh, for the moment, for joining us here on the broadcast.